Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I am going to take a look at these events, and then we'll get things started. So first, an exile at the gates in Extremadura. The relatively lenient Portuguese immigration system has long been attractive to those fleeing their home nations. Recently, Stojan Dragutinovic has petitioned to join the stream of people moving to Portugal. He is a Serbian jingoist associated with the petite bourgeoisie. It was one name on a very, very long list, one that had passed through multiple layers of bureaucracy before being noticed. One fateful day, however, one clerk at the end of his shift pointed at the name and spoke those fatal words. I could swear I've heard of that guy before. Eventually, he too will be Portuguese. He shows up in the country, or we will not have someone like this regardless of precedent. Industrialists become salty. How do the industrialists feel? The industrialists are not happy, so I'm gonna let him come in. I don't want to anger them any longer. The Malaya earthquake. An earthquake has hit the state of Malaya, destroying buildings, injuring people, and even taking some lives. It felt like the whole world was ending. Luckily, none of us were hurt, but the whole house was destroyed. The state will have to figure it out on its own. 20% devastation, chance for famine, or put some money into relief. Ooh, that's a big chunk. That's a big chunk. I don't love that. I think we can afford it, but we'll risk a famine. Falling in line. The deep bourgeoisie, prominent supporters of the Regenerator Party, have proposed support for the Portuguese Communard Friendship Committee to be a component of the official party platform. Okay, that's interesting. I've considered the risks and I'm willing to push it forwards. The fact of the matter is that voters do not and have never cared for anything outside of our borders. Even if the climate shifts heavily against the French Commune in the coming months, we may still run on our internal policy without compromising our more wide-ranging principles. I see the rationale. Nevertheless, I would like to know more before committing to a side. The stance our nation takes must not be informed by the whims of ideologues, but rather by hard necessity. The party stands together on this. The armed forces join the Portuguese Communard Friendship Committee, and be accused of foreign puppeteering. Petite bourgeoisie becomes weaker. Sure, we'll put them in there. They'll also leave the Anti-Communard League, which is a net +1, and that's going to be useful. Alright, and finally, practicing positivists. The philosophy of positivism has spread beyond the positivist church, with many engineers, academics, and officers adopting its scientific principles in order to fulfill their reformist ambitions. Natural law was one of the first things to go under this new judge. One gavel stroke, and thus ended any claims to the naturalness of any man seeking recompense for damaged goods. If there was no explicit command from governance to do so, it was no law to be followed. Mere guidelines to be interpreted until commands are set forth. A great benefit to the reformist cause. More likely to have positivist characters and increases influence of the positivists. Or there are surely more reasonable forums for politics. Slightly more likely to have positivist characters. Influence of positivists will retreat by 10. I'm going to do the second one. I don't like those guys. So moving right along here, I think I've seen some opportunities in the world. In particular, the Miskito Kingdom is now holding all of Britain's former Caribbean territory, and I think they're a good candidate for being puppeted. So let me see what things look like. I try to make them protectorate. I don't think anyone's going to step in on this. Yeah, I don't think anyone cares. I'm going to kick this off. This is 7.2 infamy, which is not that much. It's going to still leave me neutral with the USA, so let's do it. Alright, that's good. So what kind of an army do they have? I don't think they have much of one. And we have got a front. Yeah, not much of one. I'm just going to mobilize the Army of East Africa to go and deal with it. And we'll just move in over here. And I think I'll put the fleet in place. Oop, we got a 4th Portuguese army somehow. And we'll throw the Marina Real into the Caribbean to support any needed naval invasions that have to happen. Alright. Currently I have one country I could sway, but it's Spain. I think the only sway that they'll accept is giving back Galicia, which I'm not going to do, because Galicia is part of my core territory. Alright, beautiful. So that is vulcanization. This unlocks elastics for textile mills, which I am immediately going to implement in the textile mills in Alentejo. It's going to allow them to produce way more luxury furniture, which I absolutely want. The other thing it's going to do is allow us to import, to output way more tools, which I'm going to do because I think we're currently a tool exporting power at this stage. No, none from yeah, a few. We got a few trade routes. We got a few trade routes exporting tools, but I'm gonna go with machine tools anyway because that's. I know it's gonna kind of make them less productive, but everyone needs tools. Uh-oh. Oh, we got something going down in Oman. Alright, so there's electrical generation. That's also super duper good. Unfortunately, that means we're going to have to leave the Army of East Africa in Oman. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Ejército Portugués over here on the Honduran-Nicaraguan front. And that'll sort that out. Shouldn't be a problem. Doesn't look like anyone's bothering to intervene here, so I'm feeling pretty confident. Nejid, I don't wish to invest in you. I think investing is only really useful if, number one, you're trying to build up a particular type of industry in a country. We have a shortage of rubber. How do we have a shortage of rubber? We have tons of rubber plantations. Tons. Well, to fix that, I'm going to have the rubber plantations immediately go to the higher production method. There we go. That sorted it. That's a huge increase. Do I want to put... Yeah, I'm going to put the fishing and whaling on steam trawlers. I just think that's sensible. Persia sides with the Omani aristocratic revolt. Well, that is interesting. Persia, what kind of an army have you got? Have you got a real army? Line infantry and shrapnel artillery. That's not nothing. Persia, where's your capital? This is the capital. Where's all the barracks? Wait, hold on. I can go to the military view, right? Yeah, here we go. Line and skirmish infantry, a lot of lancers. A little bit of shrapnel artillery, same deal over here. Alright. Not too worried about that, but I will mobilize the regular army. Then we'll put them over here. Alright. So the fleet is actually on its way over to the Caribbean. We'll put them in the Gulf instead. So this is interesting. Okay, no, I can't add war goals against Persia. And I don't sway because this is actually a diplomatic play happening. Oman is the leader of our side in this diplomatic play, so that's just fine. We have got electrical generation, so that's pretty cool. I think I'm gonna throw the government admin at the top of the queue at this time. Gonna finish the railways first, and then work on the government admin. Oh, but maybe I'll finish the motor industries first, or at least I'll intersperse them so that they'll get done. Yeah, I think that's the plan. And then we'll do the government admin, and that's going to help with our finances. And then after that, we'll go ahead and we'll build up some power plants. Just a few levels for now, and then we'll sort of see what kind of power generation capacity we have. A bunch of different powers declared neutrality, including Qing. I think this is the Miskito capital. Yes. Miskito Kingdom backs down. Oh, that's wonderful. So that's going to put the Ejército Portugués back in Portugal proper. So I'll send them over to Oman to stage for an invasion there. Grassroots support for the law. The political wills and desires of the lower classes will always remain an opaque matter. For whatever reason, support for compulsory primary schooling has spread like wildfire across Portugal, spurred on by charismatic speakers and lively debates in small-time social clubs. Well, they're backing. What now? Well, who are we to complain? While their support was never a prerequisite for success, it sure doesn't hurt to have it either. Public enthusiasm expedites reforms, stronger trade unions from this. Interesting. And 20% enactment chance. Or use this common ground to calm the masses. 20% of lower sternum pops in Estremadura become more loyalists. That's really strong, but I'm going to have to go with the first one. Because that's going to put our enactment chance up to 68%, and that's quite reliable. Okay, so this is interesting. I think I'm going to have to land with my main army. But we'll see how that goes. I'm not really sure. I'm a little worried, I have to say. Only a little. Persia doesn't have much of an army, but, you know, one must be careful. Anti-British Association. As a result of the British Republic overtaking Portugal in the top 10 prestige rankings. Interesting. I do seem to be forming lobbies all the time. Alright, so there's the revolt kicking off. I'm going to go ahead and invade with the auxiliary division of Spain. We're going to get right in there. And hopefully we'll be able to establish a beachhead before things get serious. Alright, beautiful. That was really clean. Clean! And then we'll bring the Portuguese expeditionary force in afterward. Actually, what am I saying? I don't need to do that. No, I do need to do that. Ah, they've accepted the overlordship of Persia. So yeah, so I do need to actually fight this out with Persia. Well, that's fine. I definitely have the capacity to do that. So let's see. Government admins are getting built now. Rallies in Galicia are going great. I think I'm actually going to need more government admin than this. How am I doing with taxation capacity over here? Alright, so I should be at about 3/5, because I'm about 3/5 the way to incorporating it. Or 2/3. So I should be at 2/3 of what I need. So I'm building up capacity, so that should be fine. Turmoil is much lower. I'm feeling pretty solid about that. Maybe protectorate, diplomatic play popping off in Indochina. This is Britain going after Siam. That's just fine. I'm gonna keep watch on that. This force comparison is not as good as I would like. I am making progress. Yep, I am making progress. And I'm bringing in another army right now, so that should make things easier. Alright, very good. So... Interesting. Persia is continuing to lose war support, which is very good. My war support is going down slowly, but doing just fine. And it's not going to be able to go down any further until they... Ooh! Compulsory primary schools and voting. Wonderful. So that puts us much closer. Excuse me. What front is this? I don't know how we got an extra front over here, but we did. Did the Trucial States somehow become involved in this thing? I'm not sure. Oh, no, they're not involved. That's why these are separate fronts, because they're split by this Trucial States Treaty Port. That's quite curious. I sure hope this doesn't become a problem. Because it very well might. If we end up with a lot of front chicanery around here, which I think we could easily do. I'm going to set this guy to raiding convoys for the moment. The expansion of government admin has not provided as much bureaucracy as I was hoping it would. So let's go ahead and throw in actually some more government. No, hang on. How close are we to telephone? We're actually very close, but how close are we to central planning? Not very close at all. Alright, we're actually going to need to build up more bureaucracy. So let's see. A liberal revolt happened in Braganca, and I didn't even notice. Okay, nobody has armies over there. Well, this is a pickle. If I cut my force in half over here, I'll still have an advantage. What I'm really going to try to do is get Fars and merge these fronts. And I'm going to hope that I can hold out in Braganca. I can finish this war, and then we can hold out in Braganca long enough for that to be able to get over there. So how much of Persia have we got occupied right now? We're at about 17%, which is not doing much. But they don't have war support protection because we are... because they don't have... They don't have war support protection because they're not holding the thing they need to hold, which is some of Oman. Right away, I'm going to go ahead and ignore the Clasimid peasant revolt. And in this situation, I can also safely ignore. I think this is Kutai, and ignore that. I'm going to prefer... Let me see, how much government admin do I have in Beira? I'm at 25, 25, and 12. I'm going to build 3 in Alentejo, and Galicia, I'm going to build 2 more. You know what, we'll go up to 15 in Galicia. And I'm going to do that immediately before doing the power plants, and the reason is because I am going to want to get... the chances are pretty good, 68% in fact, that I'm going to have compulsory primary school pretty soon, and I want to have a buffer available to add levels to the education institution. The situation in Indonesia can't go against me until they've got parts of Portugal proper occupied, so I'm not really worried over there. So that's why I'm not sort of rushing to deal with this, even though I thought about it. And there's compulsory primary school. Wonderful. There's some occupation happening. That's very good. So can we do anything to make the industrialists less unhappy with the situation? They don't like monarchy. I don't like migration controls. I have to keep migration controls. There's no way I'm going to get rid of monarchy. Not with the current government, anyway. Plus, I'm trying to find the United Kingdom of, form the United Kingdom of Portugal and Brazil, and I can't do that if I'm not a monarchy. No chance of no colonial affairs. Okay, alright, well, we'll just have to endure them being unhappy for the moment. Alright, so actually, it turns out that the fronts over here are clean, because we lost Persian Hormuz. So I'm going to move the army of East Africa over to again. Hopefully that's not going to create a problem that I'm going to regret later. Oh my goodness. I've got a bunch of bureaucracy now. Oh, because the petit bourgeois are happier now for some reason. Curious. Very curious. Well, I guess I don't need all of this government admin. I'm going to cancel these two. Oh, interesting. And Galicia is now finished... No, it's still having a turmoil problem. You can cancel this one as well. It's mostly not built on. Alright, and then we'll start getting the institution growing again, because we need better education. Literacy is good, but it's not great. So let's see. Persia's at -9 war support. They're continuing to lose war support. So this war should end pretty soon. Oh no, we gotta wait until they've capitulated. Yeah, alright. Well, that is what it is. And Great Britain's also got a... British Republic's also got something popping off in Sierra Leone, which I'm going to ignore. Let's go ahead and start... Oh, Persia backed down. Wonderful. I'm going to start improving relations with the Miskito Kingdom. So what's their liberty desire at? It's a plus 0.05. They are economically dependent on us. That will go... that will increase over time. Offering them knowledge sharing would be useful. Let's wait for now. The Journal of Philosophical Studies. Members of the Philosophy Department from the University of Extremadura have signed a formal petition for the government funding for their next project, a scientific journal. With the foundation of our philosophical studies, we welcome in a new era in the scrutiny of the mind, an era of rigorous research and serious experimentation, an era of scientific collaboration among our foreign colleagues, a safe haven in which all investigations pertaining to this topic can be shared. We have no resources for this. 5% of academics in Extremadura become more radical or fund this journal. Costs us a bunch of money, but 10% prestige and 6k progress in psychoanalysis. I don't need psychoanalysis that much. It's not that great, but I'm still going to do this because I'm going to support the sciences. I'm going to be a science cat. Is that a thing you can be? Probably. Mari people immigrating from Russia. Finnic European heritage. Curious. Wonder if they're... Where do those people live? I'm looking at the homelands here. I guess I assumed it would be somewhere off in... Actually, wait, hold on. There's a better way to figure this out. Hey, and there's the end of that revolt. Alright, so that should be making our finances better. So cultures. Mari. Homelands. 1. Cheboksar. Over here. Kind of in central Russia. This is about halfway between Moscow and the Urals. Interesting. A lot of people's living in Russia, I have to say. We'll go ahead and ignore all of this business. It looks like the Europeans are shooting at each other again. Let me see. It looks like it's Austria-Hungary versus North Germany. This is over a little revolt in Württemberg. That's quite curious. Quite curious indeed. So, with electrification, we might be able to do some upgrade some production methods in Beira. No, we can't get electric sewing machines yet because we need electrical capacitors. What does the electrical generation unlock? It unlocks electric fences. Alright, we'll definitely implement that. And electric streetlights and electric sawmills. Alright, so we've already got electric power in Galicia. So we'll go ahead and start using electric fences. That's going to make those livestock ranches a little bit more efficient. And then logging camps. Electric sawmills, it's going to produce a lot more wood, so let's go ahead and do it. And then finally, for the urban center, we will put electric streetlights in play. And we're doing all this because we've got the necessary electrical output, and we don't need At least I think we got the necessary electrical output. Let's find out. Let's see if we do. Yes, electricity is very cheap in Galicia. Wonderful. So once we get that stuff implemented for our other areas, we'll look into expanding uses for electricity. One thing that's really going to impact is reducing the strain on our economy of this whole coal situation, because we keep needing more coal, and that's just the nature of the beast. I'm going to stop bringing in paper. I think we can make paper domestically. Obviously, that's going to make paper a lot more expensive, which the government needs, but again, I think we have the capacity to produce as much paper as we need in Portugal, in our highly developed states. Wow, Beira is really going up in population. This is excellent. I think the AI is a little bit building exclusively there, so I'm focusing on the other areas. I'm going to go ahead and throw in 10 levels of paper mills in Estremadura to continue to compensate for the fact that we're not bringing in the paper that we were bringing in before. Ooh, excellent. So there is the automatic machine gun. That is going to change some things. That puts recoil mechanisms in the artillery foundry. We're going to set these to using the rotary valve engine. I didn't realize we had bolt actions already. That's on me. We'll set that in the arms industries. Now. Right. Mobilization options. We need to set automatic machine guns for all of our armies. That is going to make these forces much more impressive. I'm still thinking about whether or not to activate luxurious supplies. If we do this... So 3.64 is the current cost. We upgrade that. It's actually not that much of an increase. So 13.4, 16.1... 12.2. Alright, so that's a total of about 7k more. I think that's definitely worth it. Because 10% attack and defense and 5% morale recovery is super duper solid. We're trying to make a protectorate out of Darfur. That's fine. Investment pool continues to grow at a good clip. I may just go ahead and stop growing it once I'm done with these power plants and paper mills. And let that take over, because I am a little bit in debt. Well, goodness, we got another Hell on Earth event. The perpetrators will pay for their crimes. Can you tell that I'm extremely used to that event? Alright. I don't need to be improving relations with the French Commune anymore. Let's start improving relations with the Confederacy. So, Miskito Kingdom, how can we force you into our economy more? We'll build a rubber plantation here. What about on the islands? We got sugar, we got bananas. Sugar, bananas, coffee, tobacco. Ooh, we got rubber in Jamaica. We'll build up some rubber in Jamaica. Now what about, this is... Ooh, there's oil in the West Indies. We'll build up some of that, and that'll help. That'll help, I think. Do we use oil for anything? I don't think we do. Still don't have any, nobody producing enough man-o-wars in our customs union. I think I might just import them. Hold on. That's not us. That's just the import interface being screwy. Let's see. Man-o-wars. Wow, can't really get many. Let's bring them in from Sicily. That should be just fine. So. Now the other thing I was thinking about doing was I was thinking about turning Netherlands into a protectorate. Taking another shot at that, because I already did it once. Rhineland is currently available to participate in the war, which I don't love. But if I kick this off, first, how much infamy would it be? Let's start with that. 12.6. All right, I can't do that right now. So, you know, it's on the docket. How are things with Brazil? Okay, Brazil is a dominion, and they're low enough that I could turn them into a puppet I've got 1150 on the prestige ladder. They've got 228. So let's go ahead and do it. Alright, obviously that's going to put their Liberty Desire significantly higher, but now they are losing Liberty Desire gain by quite a good clip. Because again, sitting below 25 is like nice for your stability, but it doesn't let you get anywhere. Alright, and then we're moving close to... So I think something that I wasn't paying very close attention to before in my previous run, but that I think is now the case, is that when a subject has lower Liberty Desire, it's way less infamy to annex them than it would be if they're at high Liberty Desire or even at moderate Liberty Desire. So I think that's going to be the play. I'm going to try to get them below 25 Liberty Desire one more time, and then I'm going to see what kind of infamy it is to annex them. So this is going to take, let me see, it's 0.23 per week. So it's going to go down by 1 every 5 weeks, so 10 per year. It's currently at 66, so that's going to be about 4 and change years. So T minus 4 years. We're gonna have the United Kingdom of Portugal and Brazil in, I think, 1914, conservative estimate. Anyway, that's all the time we've got for this episode. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.